This is the Ben on Beer Show with Ben Rayberg and Donovan Atkinson.
Welcome to the Ben on Beer Show, number 12. Is that right?
I believe that's right.
Yeah, show 12 for... Oh, great. My watch was on GMT.
Today's the 8th.
The 8th. It was on Saturday. It's Saturday at 11. So, welcome to the Ben on Beer Show, show number 12 for February 8th, 2013. This is a show about beer, brewing, the people, the madness, good stuff, friends, monkeys, and I can't say that.
Did you say madness and monkeys?
Yeah.
Okay. I was wondering. You know, I've been out of it for the past couple of days, so I wasn't really sure.
Yeah, I just lost my train of thought there. Couldn't finish it. I'm your host, Ben Rayberg, and on the other side of South Georgia, I guess.
On the other side of South, or as I like to say, broadcasting live from the friendly city, Tifton, Georgia.
Yeah, from the adjacent county.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
My name is Donovan Atkinson.
And we are welcoming ourselves to the show. What's the last beer you had, Donovan? I know you've been sick, so you should have taken that medicine.
And no, actually, the last beer that I had was the last one that you and I drank.
It was 2 weeks ago, huh?
No, it was 2 weeks ago, yes.
Well, we do what we can.
Yeah.
I haven't had that much beer either.
I can't even... It was a... I'm terrible. I just had the web page up. I should have just, looked at it right there, but you can probably remember better than I can.
What did we taste? That was the beer to Mars, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, that interesting thing. And you really liked it, too.
I did. I really liked that one.
I want to say it's getting around the time of the year to have that, to have it again. This, I think it's a seasonal.
Mm-hmm. Well, that would be good because I really did like that one.
It's as far as I know, it's only available in that 22-ounce bomber.
That's a shame.
I haven't seen it any other way. I'm sure you can get it on tap in other decent beer places, but here I think it's just in the bottle.
Yeah, you detected that sarcasm, right? That, that's a shame.
Yeah. Yeah, too bad we can't get a 8-ounce bottle.
Oh, no. That's just too much.
Well, I'm sure yours is starting to sweat there. Yeah. I mean, mine certainly is. It's been in my house for like 10 minutes now. So before it gets too warm, and I'm not saying that it's going to taste bad if it's warm. I'm just saying it's time to pour it because I'm thirsty. Tonight we'll be drinking Left Hand Brewing Sawtooth Ale. And is this backwards to you?
No, it's right. It's correct to me.
Okay, because my screen shows a mirror image.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't realize whether it was flipped around for you or not. But that's what we have. Left Hand Brewing's website says that this is their original flagship. Maybe this was what they started out with, or one of the more popular ones when they started out. It says 2 guitars, bass, and drums. So I'm guessing it's the whole kit in a bottle. It's everything you need in a bottle. Sawtooth Ale. Actually, that's the first sentence here. It's all you'll ever need. Sessionable, unpretentious, our original flagship. Proof that a beer can be both complex and balanced. Malty chewiness slowly transitioning over to herbal, earthy hops with a dry finish. Brewed to be enjoyed with friends and to stimulate serendipity. So, I guess I picked a good one.
I believe you did.
You know, it won't be, I'm drinking and you're vicariously enjoying it. I dropped these off to you so we could have the same beer at the same time in adjacent counties.
Yeah. It's almost like a spiritual movement, maybe.
Yeah. Let's see if we can coordinate the popping the cap.
I doubt
And
that.
That reminds me, I forgot my bottle opener.
Well, go get it.
The logistics are tricky sometimes, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't used this in a long time. It's my Craftsman opener.
I see that.
I got it on sale when the Sears was closing in Adel.
Mm-hmm.
Another victim of Adel.
Oh, don't worry. I was reading, I think about 250 of their stores or something are going to be closing this year.
Well, they failed to sell us a mattress.
Well, you know they own Kmart, and Kmart's going to be closing a few hundred stores too.
Yeah, Sears had trouble before, and then they merged with Kmart. Kmart already was hurting.
Yeah.
And now they're selling Craftsman tools at Ace Hardware. So they're just having issues.
Yeah.
So it really does. I don't know what style this is. It's obviously an ale, but won a bunch of awards. Bronze at the 2012 Great American Beer Festival. Another bronze at 2008. 2007 Australian International Beer Awards, won silver. 94 Great American Beer Festival, it won gold in the traditional bitter category. So,
It smells familiar.
it's because it's got a lot of hops in it,
That's got to be what it is.
and it's a Colorado beer. I mean,
Well, you can't go wrong with that, huh?
you can't go wrong, and there's that. It smells like home. I really want a candle. Well, that's kind of red. Ooh, got me spilling.
Yeah, that is red.
Yeah. Now, the Ranger IPA obviously is really hoppy and crisp and clean and wonderful. This has a lighter bitterness to it, and of course it mentioned chewy maltiness, so it's going to be kind of sticky in the mouth and want to hang around. But it's supposed to be just. I expect it to be balanced, given the description. Anyway, I don't know. But we've had something that was very similar to this on another show.
Yeah, it's very familiar. It's good. I like it.
Yeah, I was going to say fruity, but then it is kind of herbal on the back of the tongue and in the finish. I would say it's sessionable, but I wouldn't know what to pair it with. Cheese? Cheese, maybe?
I could see
I
that.
like it.
I do. I like it. It's not as bitter as some of the other ones we've had for sure, but it does it.
Oh, no.
It puts it. I got that bitter right on the back of my tongue, and it's almost like a coating right there with
Yeah.
it.
Like I said, it's gonna try to hang around,
Yeah.
but it's nowhere near like an imperial series that's just like a loaf of bread. It's not overpowering. Doesn't take anything away from your palate. I mean, it's good. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
A traditional bitter, though. What other categories? Oh, we've got to try the milk stout nitro in that they have. That's good.
It's a what?
Milk stout nitro.
Interesting name.
It's wonderful. The bitter and ESB category. Bitter and pale mild ale category. So it's several different categories it's been entered into in these festivals. So
I like it. I'm trying to see if there's a different way to is this supposed to be a public hangout?
it is supposed to be, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a hangout master at all. I was trying to see if I could come in a different way and actually get a shot where it flips back and forth between us, but
it would do that if I've got the iMac over there, but it doesn't have audio, so I don't think it would flip because no audio would come in to have it focus on.
yeah, I'm trying to figure out how you view the stupid thing without being a participant, because I know I've watched them before without them being, hangouts on air or anything like that.
Really? Without joining in, you can just view it without it being on air?
That's kind of what I was thinking. I could be wrong.
I would think that it would have to be one of the on-the-air things.
It might be.
Otherwise, you would have to join and actually become a participant.
They do these on a Podcasters Roundtable, and I can't remember if they do those as on air or if they just do them as hangouts, public hangouts. So I'm probably speaking out of turn.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to play with the hangout thing. If we do this again.
Yeah.
I like the thought of it, a few people joining in, and I don't know if it's an awesome way to do a show.
Well, if they've got something that they want to contribute about beer, it's, you could wind up having a pretty good beer discussion, probably.
Yeah. But to do a show every week like this, I don't know. I'd rather just do it in the studio.
Well, yeah. Well, we're going to get better quality video and audio if we do it in the studio.
Yeah, we do. And even if the streaming doesn't go well, the recording's flawless.
Yeah. So what's on your schedule?
I was going to talk about, I have in my notes, cider status. There's a homebrew store opening, or has recently opened in Decatur. I was going to get more details than that, but I had some technical difficulties and the laptop's not running. So I have pre-ordered hop rhizomes. And I got tickets to the World Beer Festival.
Mm-hmm. And that's the one where's it going to be at?
This one is in Raleigh. It's put on by All About Beer magazine.
Yeah, that one.
There's several, actually. There's one in Charlotte. There's one I think it's in Charleston as well. And that's pretty soon, or just passed, actually, the one in Charlotte. But I got tickets to a ticket to the one in Raleigh on April 13th. I'll be driving up that Friday. The festival is like noon to 4 on Saturday. It's really short to drive all the way up to Raleigh for, but should get some pictures and meet people and, get a bunch of keychain bottle openers. It's going to be about 200 beers there.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't get VIP tickets, but the VIP ticket gives you a little bit extra. You get to taste, you get to go in the VIP tent, basically. I think there's different food, and there's some beers that aren't available to the general admission people. That's
right.
About it.
Ah.
And I want to say that you can get in earlier with a VIP. But it was a gift, and I got to say it was one of the best gifts I've ever gotten.
You say it was a gift?
The ticket was a gift, yeah.
Cool.
A Valentine's present.
Oh, Valentine. Oh, wait, that's Clementine. Never mind.
I have beer spillage right here. It's bothering me. Hang on. That's better. Couldn't deal with that.
That's terrible.
I guess those homebrewers in the know, there's a homebrew store. There was an article about in maybe the AJC or maybe it was Beer Pulse or somewhere. There's a new homebrew store in Decatur. And I imagine it's pretty neat if it's in Decatur. Decatur's a pretty good place for beer. The Brick Store Pub is in Decatur, which, if you didn't realize, it's a suburb of Atlanta. And the Brick Store Pub finds itself on the top 10 of the 100 best beer pubs in the country.
Mm-hmm.
If you've never been there, if you have the opportunity, I strongly recommend you go if you enjoy beer. There is the owner, I've heard, sends his employees after so long working there to Germany to taste beer. Apparently he takes frequent trips overseas to discover new brews and things like that. I think Sam Calagione hosted something there and found himself in the cellar being served rare lambics or something like that. But very good place, awesome atmosphere down there in Decatur. The parts of Decatur also shithole, but that part of Decatur is historical. It's decent. It's actually very alive at night too. I like it.
Oh, that's awesome.
I want to say whatever beer you order there, it will be served in a glass with the brewery's logo on it. Whatever you order, they've got the glasses from that brewery, as far as I know. They've got, if you like heavy Belgian style beers, I think the bar upstairs is where that's where they're all on tap.
The only thing Belgian I know is the stuff that we've been drinking from New Belgium. So
Well, I wouldn't say that those are Belgian style,
Hey,
but
I'm just saying.
yeah. Uh, the Belgian beers are typically very, very heavy and very malty. So, like the loaf of bread I was talking about.
Right.
But yes, homebrew store in Decatur. I'm sure they will do well. I want to say the article was written with the attitude that the owner was a very prolific home brewer and was very knowledgeable. So maybe I can elaborate more when I'm writing the post for the show.
Yeah.
I got no way to look it up right now. Cider status.
Yes.
If you've read the blog at all, I made some apple cider from a recipe I found at Homebrew Talk, and it's called Dave's Caramel Apple Cider. It's basically fermented apple juice, and on bottling day, I added a cinnamon dolce syrup and apple juice concentrate to sweeten it up. I tasted it on bottling day, and it was really dry. Even after adding all the back sweeteners, it was pretty dry. But we'll see. I don't mind it being dry. I just don't want it to be so tart it's undrinkable. But we'll see. We used a Nottingham ale yeast, which is a popular ale yeast, I guess, used a lot in Britain.
Okay.
So it's not a wine yeast. Wine yeasts will typically take the kids are arguing. This is awesome.
Hey, it adds character.
I think they solved it. So if you use a wine yeast was chosen for wine because it can, for one of the reasons anyway, it can survive in higher alcohol content. There's a point at which ale and lager yeast will produce so much alcohol that it basically dies of alcohol poisoning. So we reached that limit, but wine yeast can tolerate up to like 25 to 30% or whatever. So if I'd used wine yeast in the apple cider, it could have gotten up there to be pretty, lack of a better word, alcoholic.
Okay, so what percentage is this, you think?
No, I have no idea.
No idea? Okay.
I didn't take a starting and ending gravity, so I'm only guessing it's, it went for 2 weeks in the fermenter. So it finally just quit. So it's, I'm guessing 6 or 7%. But it's, again, when I tasted it, it tastes a lot like a dry wine.
Okay.
So, yeah, we'll see. Maybe I may crack one this weekend. Not sure.
Yeah, the test for us will be if my wife can drink it and not get a headache, because over the years she has developed, even if she drinks a glass of wine or two, she'll get a headache. So she pretty much stays away from alcohol.
Well, if you typically, with the darker beers, Newcastle, 10 years ago I could drink plenty of Newcastle, but lately, within the past few years, I can't tolerate it. It's like 2, and I've got this splitting headache. But I think if you couple it, if you properly hydrate anyway, it'd be fine.
Right.
It's usually what it is I'm dehydrated.
That's easy enough to do when you're drinking alcohol.
Yeah. Alcohol is a diuretic.
So let me ask you this. I can't remember if we've, I may have brought this up on, I think the last show, but during the Super Bowl, one of the 52 or 62 commercials. There was at least 3 commercials from Budweiser.
Yeah.
Black Crown.
I tweeted, the first time I saw that commercial, I tweeted, what the hell is Black Crown? You know, I never went and found out. Somebody told me, and it's somebody with no authority, it was probably as a joke, she said, and you might see it on Facebook where she replied, it's just regular Bud with a different sticker on the bottle. So we'll, you know, I was a sucker and I bought the Bud Light Platinum.
Oh, yeah.
And I posted a review and some photos of it when I had it. And all they did was add extra sugar to bring it up to 6% alcohol. And it was just...
Well, that's what this is. This is 6% alcohol. It's a golden amber lager chosen by you, the people.
Me?
It says you, the people. Apparently you chose it.
We choose stuff like this.
That's right. Victory! But yeah, it says it's brewed with toasted caramel malt and a variety of American hops. This drinkable golden amber lager is finished over beechwood chips for a smooth and distinctive flavor. See, the first place I saw it was in a Publix flyer about 3 weeks ago, and they had a 12-pack on sale.
How much was the 12-pack?
$14.
Exactly. Now, how do you reach that price point without using adjuncts and cheap stuff like hop extract?
I thought it was a pretty good price considering, but, you know, and let me clarify. For what you were getting, $14 for a 12-pack. Now, quality-wise, yeah, I know like a 12-pack of what we're drinking here or any of the other stuff that we normally drink, you would spend, what, $18, $20?
$20, yeah.
20, yeah.
I want to say a 12-pack of Fat Tire is like $17.99 or something like that.
Yeah.
But, you know, what the hell is this again? Black Crown?
Budweiser Black Crown.
You know, I can get the same quality if I just spend, what, $8 on a 12-pack of Natural Light?
You won't get 6% alcohol, though.
Okay, and then add $3 on a bottle of Mad Dog.
There you go.
And then you've met your quota.
You know, we need to at least get a 6-pack of this and try it on the show. You know, give them their a test. I know, you're like, why do we want to waste an entire show drinking shitty beer?
We're not going to waste an entire show. We'll use that to hydrate for the good stuff. That's what we'll do. I'll try to make sure we have some on the next show. Let me write that down.
Hey, I put in an application for Miller Coors LLC over in Albany, so if I wind up getting hired, I'm going to have to stop talking bad about them.
Oh, you can talk bad about Bud all you want.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Because that's Miller Coors.
Yeah. They had positions for brewers. I was like, yeah, that's about all I'm qualified for now.
Well, I think brewers over there just punch buttons on the machines.
I can do that.
Follow protocol.
I can do that if they pay $20 an hour. I can do that.
Hey, nobody's going to fault you for it. I mean, I have a family member who works for a large distributor in North Carolina. And she gets free beer all the time.
My cousin is in maintenance over there, and I think he's been over there 10 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he gets free beer.
The lady who works with me, well, there's a lot of ladies who work with me. The lady across the hall, her husband works there. That's a train, if you can hear that.
Woo woo! Huh.
Yeah, it's kind of thunderous here now. Her husband works in maintenance over there, and he brought us two 12-packs one day. So a guy and I, my work neighbor, and I split it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Miller Lite and Coors Light. Miller Lite in bottles, and those bottles where the neck is rifled.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell do they call that?
I don't know. Is that supposed to get the beer into you faster? Apparently,
but it did not work. I took a regular bottle and one of those, and I just dumped them out. And I poured water out, and they came out the same exact speed. So I started to make a video of that, but I couldn't manage an iPhone and 2 bottles of water at the same time.
Well, you got to set the iPhone up and get in front of it.
I should get a tripod. They got to make a tripod mount for that, where I can just mount the iPhone on a tripod.
They do. It's $20 at Amazon. It's called the Clippy or something like that. It actually was from a Kickstarter project. And what it is you take like this iPhone right here,
mm-hmm.
and it's an L shape. It comes up, does like that, and it's got the standard tripod screw-in mount right there.
Nice.
So then you can mount the phone on a tripod or anything that takes that connection.
Cool.
This is the Beer and Tech Show.
So that's how I'll do all my lonely shows. Like when you're at work and I want to do a show, I'll just put the phone or the iPad on a tripod.
That's what you do.
But the cider fermented for a couple of weeks. I think it was just 2 full weeks, and then as I described in the article, in the write-up I did for it, I put the Camden tablets in
mm-hmm.
when I re-racked it, and it left a huge layer of yeast and apple bits, I guess. It was in the apple juice already, and even when I re-racked it, I'd still had another half inch or more of sediment in the bottom of that new one. So it tended to clear up a lot when I re-racked it, and then again when I bottled it. But it appears that the Camden tablets worked. The side, none of the bottles have broken. None of the caps have popped off. So fermentation has pretty much stopped. I hope it carbonated a little bit. I hope it's fizzy. But again, we'll see. And maybe I'll pop a couple in the fridge this weekend and find out. And I hope nobody loses an eye if those things are under a lot of pressure.
Well, we've got the as soon as we procured the stash this morning, we put them in the refrigerator. So I've got the 4 in there. Might pop one Sunday. It won't be tomorrow. Tomorrow's my Jim Beam day.
Your what?
My Jim Beam day.
Oh, okay. I've had mine on the kitchen floor, just in case one of them pops, or if one case of them pops open.
Mm-hmm.
At least it's on the tile.
So what you're telling me is these damn things could explode in my refrigerator?
They have been known. This is a fruit beer. I mean, they're not going to explode in your fridge. I mean, when you cool something, it compresses.
Yeah.
So
maybe I should put them out in this fridge. They're actually in the main house fridge.
It doesn't matter.
I'm not worried about it.
I mean, they're not blowing up on my kitchen floor, and it's 76 in here now. I'm actually sweating right now. A little. I'm beginning to perspire.
I think it's like 68 in here. 71, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll try to get more of the details on that homebrew store in Decatur. Feel kind of bad about that.
Do you know that it made me think whenever you're talking about the homebrew store, the one here in Tifton, the Southern Pride,
mm-hmm.
they're starting classes.
He said he was going to do a brewing class, and I told him I would go and hang out, but I told him I didn't know if I. It depends on when he asks, because I got. My wife's out of town for a couple of weeks, so probably shouldn't take the kids to a homebrew class.
Oh, come on. Get them started early. It's training. It's education for the apocalypse. I was going to try to see when it, because I remember it was on here. Not that we're trying to give him free press, but I think we're trying to give him free press.
Yeah. I told him I wanted to kind of plug his shop, but I think he kind of thought I was going to charge him.
Not yet.
No. I was just going to give him some free press, but it's not like many listeners of this show could ever find out where Tiffin is.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's February 16th at 2 p.m. at the store.
Yeah, I want to make that.
It's going to be brewing with malt extract. That's going to be the specific class.
It's going to be a short one.
Well, I just thought when you were talking about it, it dawned on me, so I figured I'd mention it.
Are you looking at it on Facebook right now?
Yeah.
Are there a lot of likes or people say they're going or?
Well, there's 6 people like the post.
Oh, that's not a lot.
4 shares. I mean, his page has only got 102 likes on it so far. And I don't mean that only as in a negative connotation. I'm just saying, as things go.
Yeah, it's hard to get reach sometimes on Facebook. Even the Been on Beer page isn't doing so hot, but I'm not really concerned with that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I don't like Facebook, but apparently 500 million people are on it. So
actually, it's 1 billion.
Is it 1 billion already?
Yeah, they hit 1 billion. Hey, as a side note, I did notice that if I click on my portrait, I can bring me up, and then if I click on your portrait, I can bring you back up. But you as the host, you may have an option that allows you to change that, because I remembered whenever I started one, I could lock it down but you're doing it on an iPad, so I don't know.
I probably don't have a lot of options. I see where I can, turn the camera and mic on and off, and I can switch cameras, and I can invite people to the Hangout. Otherwise, I don't.
Okay. I'm just curious.
I tap our pictures, and it just shows me details. I could mute you.
Okay.
Or I could kick you out, it looks like.
Yeah.
But
okay.
I don't have a lot of options on iPad. But
yeah, you may not. Like I said, it's kind of I've only done maybe 2 of these with this, so it's an adventure.
Yeah, I've never done one. So, hang on. You want what?
Another cake.
A piece of cake? Well, I can't cut your cake right now, so. But yeah, you can. But you gotta wait till I'm done. Unless Annika wants to brave it. But I gotta get back to the show, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Character.
Yes. He is a character.
There's a car.
And he has a car.
Oh, yes.
All right. I can do the show, okay? You go play?
What he's trying to demonstrate is you're not supposed to drink and drive. He has the car. He doesn't have the beer.
That's right. He's got to leave the show because he's got a car.
Oh, that's precious.
And my sister's name is Zedeka.
And he's telling you his sister's name. So, all right, that's enough. Let's not talk to the world anymore. It's funny because if you were up on stage in front of 100,000 people, you probably wouldn't say a word. But
Yeah.
these shows have the potential, at least, that they're not held back from anybody. So
Yeah. Well, he doesn't see everybody though. He's a master of his little domain right there, right now.
Yeah,
So.
it's funny though that he's that candid in front of what he doesn't know to be, potentially millions of people.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it tastes better as it gets warmer.
I can tell you one thing: it doesn't last very long.
Well, that's beer. That's beer in my gullet.
Very true.
Hop rhizomes. I told myself last year that I wanted to start growing hops.
Mm-hmm.
And so this year I ordered hop rhizomes, and I actually had to look up last year what a rhizome is. Well, it's okay. Just, how about stay away? Stay away from her. Are we good? Okay. You good? I had to look up what a rhizome was.
Uh-huh.
And it turns out it's just a root system. I'm pretty sure you guys knew that already, but I'm not a horticulturalist, so... a rhizome is what's that type of grass that just grows under and then grass sprouts from it all around? It just grows in a kind of a system out.
Talking about like centipede?
It might be.
That might be. I'm not a grass aficionado of the smokable type or otherwise, but
that's the only that's the only type of plant that I know other than hops that is founded on a rhizome that grows under the ground, and it kind of, the vines grow out of that, and then they climb.
My guy has it.
Go play. Oh. I've ordered two rhizomes each of 3 different hops. I got Cascade, Centennial, and Goldings.
Mm-hmm.
The Goldings, I believe, are a low alpha acid, so it's going to be a finishing hop. And I may not even use these for beer, because when you grow your own, you don't have a guarantee on the alpha acid content or the health or whatever. You don't know how much is enough because you don't have an accurate measurement of the bitterness to expect. The type of hop is more bitter than a different type of hop, but you really can't tell.
How would you measure that?
I think they do it in a lab.
Oh.
When they crush it up and pelletize it, they have a more accurate measure. They also have controlled environments where they grow them, controlled environments where they dry them out, and where they process the pelletized hops. Now, whole leaf hops, I think even when you buy whole leaf hops, you've still got more of a guarantee because they're grown by a professional and they've tested the crops and whatnot. So if you grow them at home, it's a different environment. There are a lot of unknowns, and it's not recommended for a specific recipe to use homegrown hops, but nobody's going to fault you for using them. You won't exactly know what it's going to taste like after.
Right. Well, I mean, at some point in the past, before they got it to a point where it was such a controlled environment and they put it in a lab and all this other kind of stuff. I mean, I imagine folks grew it and used it, and every batch of ale or beer or whatever tasted different than the next.
If it was the same brewery and the same hop field, there was some consistency there, and they were able to adjust that way. But they don't grow hops in Georgia. They grow it up further north of here. Wisconsin's kind of trying to break into the hops. But most of the hoppier states are Oregon and Washington. So it's up in that area where they grow most of the hops that are grown in this country. And so we don't know exactly what's going to turn out in my backyard here in Georgia, but they can get that consistency in Oregon and know what's going on. If I were to grow hops every year for 10 years and then eventually get it down to where I know what I'm getting every year, then we could get some consistency. But
well, you're probably gonna find out that you're gonna grow the super hop right there in your backyard. This will be the best hops in the world.
Yeah, that'll be neat. I'll probably brew at least one batch with some of it.
Yeah,
if I get anything from it. I just think it's going to be neat. They were $4.99 per rhizome, and I bought 6. I spent about $35 total. So you can get hop rhizomes from freshhops.com. I got mine from Midwest Supplies. I'm willing to bet that Northern Brewer has them. Mm-hmm. But if you want to grow them, be prepared to have some lattice built. Or some kind of a shelter or something they can grow on top of.
Because they're going to climb.
They're going to climb. They're going to go about 20 feet. Mm-hmm. So get ready. I want to say the patio area over the Dogfish Head brew pub, it is shaded in the summer by hop vines. And every once in a while, when they're just brewing something off the wall, they're at the brew pub. They'll go out and pick hops off of those vines and put them directly into the brew pot. So it's really neat to have. What I want to do is, instead of growing hops 20 feet in the air, is to actually use them as a shelter or a shade something in the backyard.
Yeah,
I haven't built anything yet, but.
Let them grow over the top of your house and add extra shelter, so then it reduces your power bill.
Hey, that would be nice. But they're supposed to ship in April. I thought they would ship in March, but they're expected to ship in April. So we're also getting a puppy in March. So I've got to, yes, yay! I've also got to put a fence around where I'm growing them so the puppy can't get there. Because as I mentioned in one of the shows about hops, that they are toxic to dogs. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how attractive they are to dogs. I don't know if they just kind of smell them and eat them, but if they happen to ingest them, it's very dangerous.
Mm. Hopefully not as attractive as antifreeze.
Yeah. We did have a dog get chocolate cookies off of the counter one time.
How did that end?
He wasn't affected at all.
Really? I'd always heard that chocolate was bad for dogs, but
it's the chocolate. I forget what it is in the chocolate that's bad for them. White chocolate is fine, apparently. But it's the chocolate liquor or something that I don't even know what it does to them.
Yeah,
if they eat hops, they overheat. They suffer hyperthermia. Mm-hmm. In a minute, buddy. Let me finish the show. Okay. But yeah, hop rhizomes gotta figure out how to grow at least six vines 20 feet long.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like a lot of fun.
I hope there's something that comes of it, And I hope that if I move, I can just take it with me.
Yeah.
But that's about it. I had an article to talk about, but I can't get to it right now. There you go. It was about the brewery scene in Georgia, mm-hmm. and how they are breweries are popping up everywhere, and especially in the Atlanta area, given the is it 2009 or sometime in the past 5 years that Georgia has allowed a higher percentage of alcohol content in beer, which has increased the number of beers available in the state and the specialty brewers. So now that people have had time to adjust and popularity has gained, there's a lot more breweries starting up. So,
I imagine
it's a good thing. But
yeah,
most of them, I fear, are in the metro area, and we're not going to see a whole lot down here because there's just not a lot of demand for it.
Well, see, what we need to do is we need to go get a small business loan, and we need to start one.
Well, I've heard that you need at least like $5 million to go ahead and produce. Because if you start too small and you create a demand for your product, then you won't be able to fill that demand if your production is too small. So it's kind of at this point, it's kind of a go big or go home.
Yeah.
And,
I don't think $5 million is a small business loan. It might be. I don't know.
Who knows,
I could say, walk into the bank. We're starting a brewery. We need $5 million.
Who knows? You might can get some grants or something.
Yeah. Hey, we're good for it. We'll sign. Hey, our name, our signature. That's all you need.
Hey, we grow our own hops. It's grown in Georgia.
There you go.
There's a winery up the road. They're on the Georgia agritourism list.
Yeah.
Because all the grapes, the vineyards are between here and Nashville, and there's more vineyards out in the new place in Sparks. They're on the visitors list on the Georgia agritourism place. So if we had a 3-acre hop yard, and I don't know, we grew something else. We grew pumpkins for the pumpkin ale or something.
Mm-hmm.
Then we could get on that same list.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to have to get more back to basics, and working in the dirt, that might just be it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh.
It's a growing market. There's a growing demand for craft beer. Craft brewers are doing really well so far.
Something that I learned, and this plays right into my, or demonstrates my ignorance on the various laws in various states. But after I had my conference call with that company up in Vermont, we started. Mm-hmm. It occurred to me, and I asked my wife. I said, "I wonder what the alcohol laws are in Vermont." So she did a quick lookup. And this is where I learned something new, and you probably already know this. So I was actually shocked to find this out, but Vermont is one of those states where the liquor stores are state-owned. I never knew that there was a such thing. They are state-owned liquor stores, meaning that if you want to put a liquor store in the state of Vermont, and there's at least half of the states in the union are this way, Georgia is not one of them. But if you want to actually get into the liquor business, you actually have to get your quote-unquote license. You basically wind up running a state-sanctioned liquor store. And there are particular laws about up until 2008 or 2009, grocery stores up there couldn't sell beer. The only place to get beer, wine, and hard liquor was at a liquor store. But then they relaxed the laws, and then the grocery stores could start carrying beer. They can't carry wine. If you want wine and hard liquor, you still have to go to a state-run liquor store. I was like, wow. I had never heard that. And Lee sent me the whole list of the various laws in all of the states, and like if it's a state-run liquor store or if it's an independent. Because, here in Georgia, they're all independent. So you got to get a license, but it's your store. So that was interesting to me.
That I've never heard of that, because I haven't studied the law in all the other states. But
well, when you're looking at potentially having to move 2,200 miles away, you start looking at all of the the things that really matter.
How close is the beer store?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's one of the first things when I moved to Tifton. I was like, hot damn, I'm less than 10 minutes away from the closest liquor store. And I'm 5 minutes away from the closest quickie store.
Well, I found this article that I tweeted about earlier today, and it's... what was it? The presence of new breweries reveals Atlanta's ascendance as a southern beer destination.
Wow.
And in parentheses, it says, watch your back, Asheville. I don't know if they'll ever get to, Well, it could be. Atlanta's a lot bigger than Asheville is, but...
True.
Asheville's just a different atmosphere, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
If you love craft beer, there's no better time to live in Atlanta, says Tom Stahl of New Decatur Brewery, Blue Tarp. Never heard of it. Which released its first beer, the Irish Red Ale Bantam Weight, on December 27th. It's very recent. These breweries.
Sound like a chicken.
There's a retail establishment in Decatur. It's called Ale Yeah.
Ale Yeah.
Yeah, and the West Side Hop City. Let's see. There's Jailhouse Brewing. That's in Hampton. It's south of Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
O'Dempsey's. I don't know where that is. Wild Heaven. Burnt Hickory Brewery. Monday Night Brewing. Red Hare Brewing. And Strawn Brewing. STRAWN. And those are all in the Atlanta metro area. I mean, they don't have a national reach yet, so it's probably why I haven't really heard of them, but
interesting.
There are tap houses opening. There's the growler laws were passed in 2010. Sunday sales was put on the ballot in 2011 and passed up in I think mostly in the northern part of the metro area, which was where I was at the time. There's new places open up all the time, so it's a good time to be in the business making big, huge brew kettles and big fermenters. All those equipment makers are pretty successful right now. We have the third highest beer excise tax rate in the nation, $1.01 per gallon. Which is compared to North Carolina has 53 cents a gallon. And Colorado has 8 cents a gallon.
Wow.
In excise tax. So they, even with the high tax rate, in Georgia,
that's me.
Okay. Even in Georgia, we've done very well, even with our high tax rate. So I hope it keeps coming. There's actually a brewery kind of in the works, but they're not in a real big hurry, in Fitzgerald.
Really, in Fitzgerald?
Yep. It's going to be called the Colony City Brewery. And I've got 2 people at work who know the 2 people who are working on it.
Mm-hmm.
And you may know who they are, but yeah, they're running it out of a spare house or bedroom or something. But
wow, I hadn't heard about that.
Yeah, they don't have a license. They don't have anything yet, but they're trying to they're trying to found it. So
that is interesting.
Yeah,
because unfortunately, Fitzgerald is one of those towns that if they don't get something in there, the poor place is drying up and is going to wither away and die.
It'll be left to the chickens.
Yep, that's all that'll be there is chickens.
Yep, it's just a bag of cocks.
You said it, not me.
That town has been interesting. The tiny little downtown area has been interesting to me. But while the architecture and the history is interesting, there's just nothing there.
Hey, I grew up there.
The only place I really ever visited up there was the DPAC's office.
You saw the best.
Oh, yeah. And the floors creaked, and the elevator was an afterthought, and it was terrible.
Actually, the coolest thing was it was a couple of streets over from the DFAC's office. If the DFAC's office is where I remember it being, is where they made a full-size, life-size chessboard. So
I've never seen that.
Yeah, Walt and I actually went there. I showed it to him one night, and of course that was the night we got out of the truck. We walked over there. I showed it to him, and then there was this guy walked up saying that he needed some money for the payphone. He broke down and all this other kind of crap. And Walt was like, the one time I got out of my vehicle without strapping the gun on me. But yeah, you go to, I forget where it is, but you go and check the pieces out. And I mean, the pieces are 3 feet tall. And you put them on and you play life-size chess.
Oh, they're playable.
Yeah.
It's not a static display.
No,
Wow.
you play.
That's hilarious.
Now, granted, that was back in 2002, 2003, but the last time I went through there, it's over on Main Street. It was still there. So.
I've never known about it.
But yeah, otherwise, Fitzgerald, unfortunately, when Delco/Delphi, I mean, they raised that building. It's no longer there. When it shut down, that economy in Fitzgerald dried up.
Well, I think the DPAC's office happens. I think somebody told me it was the tallest building in the city. They are the only 3-story building in the place.
I think that's correct. Yeah.
So yeah, very interesting place.
It's right there on the road that used to be the cruising road before they converted it. It's on Grant. I think that's Grant. Yeah. Grant used to be a 2-way street. That was the street that Friday nights teenagers would cruise. But, then they swapped them over to 1-way street. So Grant ran north.
Grant runs south.
South, yeah. And then Sherman runs north. Mm-hmm. How apropos, Sherman, north, Atlanta, burn. Anyway. Wow. And that, boys and girls, is your Civil War, a.k.a. War Between the States lesson.
Well, they could have... that could be them paving over the soldiers' footsteps. I marched to Atlanta.
That could have been it. Except I think he marched down. I don't think he marched up. I can't remember.
I don't know. It's been a long time since I saw that.
It's been a long time since I was there.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't have much else to talk about. I just got to remember to bring some Black Crown to the... I can probably find enough change in the couch to buy a 6-pack.
Your flesh may start burning and searing off when you touch the 6-pack.
Nah, we'll have some fun with it. I still don't have that Indio beer.
Oh, the one that, she was supposed to send you some.
They were supposed to send me a sample of some sort. I don't know how much, but she said expect a package from our L.A. office. And
TSA probably got it.
It's all domestic. So, the delivery anyway. I don't know.
Well, hey, as long as it didn't have to go on Amtrak, because the TSA is there too. Maybe they just forgot.
That's fine with me too. It's their marketing. Yeah.
I know, it's not like we've got to have this beer. It's like you want us to test it, and taste it, and talk about it on the show. Bring it on.
If they had a check to follow the beer after we tasted and talked good about it, then I'd be waiting on the beer.
You'd be on the phone going, hey, where's the beer?
Yeah.
We got a show to do. Where's the beer?
That's right. But since they're not paying for anything except the free beer, I'm not chasing them. It's fine. It would be cool for once to get beer in the mail. Because I tried it with Oscar Blues, and she said, yeah, it shouldn't be a problem, because I couldn't get the Goodnight here, and I've never seen it anywhere around here. So I said, that's something we can't really find around here. What are the chances? And she, no problem. And I didn't hear anything. So
I like that. No problem. I didn't.
I think we have a problem with breweries and marketing people. They're just not doing what they say they do.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I would do what I said I was going to do with it if they would just send it. They can depend on me to drink it. They really can.
Well, 100% of your sales depends on 200% of your marketing, so.
Yeah, what's 200% of zero?
Something that I think will actually splinter the universe, so.
Yeah. Well, dividing by zero wrecked a Russian rocket, didn't it?
Yeah.
Or it was some NASA mission or something. It was a divide by zero error that took the craft down.
Well, now the crash of that one lander on Mars was an issue of metric versus
That's right.
imperial.
Yeah. A little oversight there. My bad.
Yeah, that's only $2 billion. Don't worry about it.
Drop in the bucket. Hey, well, what happened the next time?
They landed it and got it right.
They stuck it. And then this last time, I was in tears. No, I wasn't kidding. I was that happy.
That it actually made it?
That it made it was cool. But the feeling that those engineers had to have when that thing that was fully automated, they had no control over it.
Yeah.
And it stuck. It did exactly what they designed it to do, and it worked.
Oh, yeah.
So I can't imagine how happy they were.
Oh, I know.
That work.
That's got to be an awesome feeling.
Yeah.
There's probably a lot of babies made that night.
Even in 2004 when the first two rovers landed, that was just amazing. They designed it and sent it to another planet, and it worked. It worked as they wanted it to. So.
Well, there's a reality show they're starting that if you can get on it, you can actually be one of 10 or 15 that they're actually going to send to Mars. Of course, it's a one-way trip. They're going to send you there, and you're going to live there for the rest of your life.
Really?
Yeah. And they're doing it as a reality show. They expect the whole project to take like 10 years. 8 or 10 years.
Can we put Ann Coulter in as just a given?
I'm okay with that, yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, if she's got my vote, if they're going to fly her ass off to Mars.
I'm not sure she would make it through the training.
Doesn't matter. Training or no training,
just take her.
Yep.
That is one hateful woman.
She's easy to hate.
I know. I have to wonder if when she goes home, she's like, "Well, that was a good act today."
Yeah. She probably sends Obama love letters.
Yeah, they're probably got secret notes going back and forth going, "All right, I've got everybody on my side all riled up. Now you come in and do the 1-2 punch." And then I'll follow that up with how, shitty everything was. And you just, catering to the, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, sorry to all my listeners who love Ann Coulter to death, but I haven't heard her speak in a while, but I heard she was on a while ago and was just kind of belligerent. Anyways.
Yeah.
This is a beer show.
Well, when you drink beer, you start talking politics. Then you start killing people.
When you think about a one-way trip to Mars, like, who needs to be on that one?
Yeah, that's true.
First name came to mind.
You heard it here first, folks. She needs to go to Mars.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
But hey, look, it's 11 o'clock.
Wow. I guess this is a show then, huh?
Yeah, that probably needs to be the end of the show.
Well, wrap it up.
I don't have anything else to say, and it's getting late. This is going to be a long one. Expect some more details about some of the stuff I talked about in the post for the show, and that's going to about do it. All the normal stuff I like to say. Don't contribute to the delinquency of minors. Don't drink and drive. And I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
It works for me.
All right. Ta-ta.
Production of the Narrow Media Network. Your reality distorted. For other great shows, be sure to check out anarrow.tv.